You know what I found out? I found out that so I'm a big fan of physics because I know that with this technology we'll be able to solve a lot of mysteries. And I think with the science we will be able to build amazing things. We can save energy. We can build things that will have so much energy that we don't have to struggle. We can build free energy. We can build free energy devices. We can travel to a different planet. I was really into these things, and what I've discovered is maybe we're not ready for this technology, because what I see now is that I think if we had the devices to create unlimited energy devices, I think we would destroy ourselves, because I think the people that are in power now, I don't think they see the connectedness of all beings. And I know everyone can feel it deep inside. I know that if you go in nature, I know that if you spend time with loved ones, if you heal the wounds inside, I know everyone can feel this connectedness deep inside. But if you identify with something limited, if you identify with something limited, then your brain will try to defend that limited identity. There are some truly, truly intelligent human beings on this planet. And I know that they can discover things for humanity to prosper. But are we ready for that? Maybe the suffering in the world right now is a wake up call. Because what I found is that suffering awakened me. And when I hear about a lot of teachers, they're saying the same things. They're saying that suffering awakened them. Because when I was young, I thought that this body, the things that I've experienced, that is real. That is my identity. And then my family is my identity. And then you'll try to defend that. You'll try to grow your identity. You'll try to first survive, and then when you manage to survive, you I think some of us feel this void within by experiencing everything externally. You think this is what this is what you wanted, and then only to find out that it didn't fill that void. But what is in that void? What I found is it's the soul. But the soul is not limited. It's not limited. It's connected with all that is. It's energy. And in the beginning, I remember I used to have these discussions. I had these discussions with my own soul because a lot of these things that it was showing me, it was telling me, I'm not, when I'm saying telling me, it's not like with a voice, but it's like this feeling, it's this knowing. A lot of it didn't make any sense with what I thought. And I resisted that knowingness in the beginning. And then you're trying to, I remember driving in my car, and I was going, I always put gas in a certain gas station because I know that one was the best price quality. And then this knowingness came to me and said, skip it this time and go to the next one. And I remember thinking that doesn't make any sense, because I'm 100% sure that it's just not true. And then what I did is I drove there and I saw that I looked at the price of the one that I knew was cheaper. And then I drove to the one that my knowingness, that whisper said that I should go to. And then when I went to the other one, I found out that there was this massive discount. And then I was like, wow. That was the beginning of my realizing that this inner knowingness, this intuition, this whisper is knowing things that are outside of space and time. And but still I wasn't convinced. There were many, many, many other things that had to happen for me to surrender to this whisper. And I guess that's part of why I'm making these videos. I think another reason why I'm making these videos is because what I found is that, what I've been saying, I think I've been very frustrated. I once read somewhere that Nikola Tesla was very frustrated at the end of his life because he tried to create this machine, this device that would create energy. Like, he really wanted that and he worked really hard to do that. And he just couldn't. But he knew it was possible, but he somehow, it just wouldn't happen. And I think I've been very frustrated. And I think I found out that there are a lot of things that the collective isn't ready for. We're just not ready for it because we need to raise human consciousness first. We need to raise our frequency as a collective. And the only way to do that is for people to be connected to their souls, to awaken, to wake up, to see through this limited identity, this, because I see a lot of people that think they need to defend themselves because they're being attacked. and attack because they need to defend, and then the other side wants to defend from that attack, but it's two sides of the same coin. It's just this limited identity. And when you're connected, you'll stop. But if you choose to be limited, you'll never see that. But I believe that our children being born who aren't stuck in that limited identity. I believe that there are people waking up to the connectedness of it all. And I think the internet, social media, has made us so connected that we need to start sharing these truths. And I'm not saying these things because of a theory or because I think it's true. It's because you can experience it, because you can feel it. And I know I'm very fortunate and grateful for having the chance to awaken, because I see a lot of human beings on this planet who don't have the chance to manifest everything they want, you know? There are a lot of human beings who are stuck in survival. And I think the only way to get out of that survival is to awaken, is to go within. Because the outside is a manifestation of the inside. But if you don't know any better, if your schooling, if there are a lot of people who are not exposed to truths, to truth like this. And I think it's time for someone to bring this truth to certain areas of the world. And I know it's difficult. I know it is extremely difficult because certain truths the mind will not accept certain truths. Why won't the mind accept certain truths? It's because your nervous system will literally not allow you to receive this truth, because when you have trauma, when you have wounds, when you have a certain identity, a limited identity, truth will feel like an attack on that identity. The energy that will try to enter you, it will feel as too much. And when it feels like too much, you'll try to escape from it by resting, by reaching for something light, like a funny video or something that you're used to. Everyone just wants the path of least resistance, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it's fair, but I think tired of some of us are tired of suffering, you know and I've been in a situation where I was just escaping, and I didn't want to escape, but I needed to escape. There was no other way for me. And that brings me to another thing that I want to talk about, and that is energy. When you leak energy, sometimes you just leak energy, and it's so strange because you're saying the right things, you're doing the right thing, you're being a good human being, you're following the rules, you're doing what your parents, your family told you, you're doing all the right things, and you don't have energy. And I've been there. Why is this? What is actually happening? You know the path, or at least you think you know the path, and you're doing the things, but you just can't do it. You know what that is? It's your it's your body saying, I'm tired of faking. What did I mean with faking? I mean, I'm tired of playing a role. There is something bigger than your limited identity that knows your path, your mission, your purpose.